Hi, I'm Dr. Ellis Orozco, and thanks for listening to this video podcast. I hope you have a great weekend. Hi, and thanks for listening in. This weekend, I wanted to ask you to reflect a little bit on what it looks like to spend time with Jesus in the wilderness. Jesus actually spent a lot of time in the wilderness, and this was a time for him, I think, of self-reflection, a time to become even more self-aware of who he was. Jesus was probably one of the most self-aware persons who ever lived. Many of his I am statements, I am the bread, I am the water, I am the way, the truth, and the life. These were all statements that Jesus made that reflected this amazing self-awareness. And I think he got a lot of that from his time with the Father in the wilderness. So I wanted to encourage you this weekend to take some time away from everything and to spend time with God in your own kind of wilderness experience. Life can get really crazy and really hectic, fast. We live in a fast-paced world, and the more apps that are developed, and the more technology advances, the more time we save. And the more time we save, the more stuff we cram in to the time we just saved, and the busier we get. And so I think it's important in that kind of world to take some time away. Jesus actually lived a pretty hectic life, considering that he lived in the first century and in an agricultural world. It was obviously a lot slower paced world than the one we live in. But Jesus, because of what he came to do, had a lot to get done in a very short period of time. Because he was this amazing healer, people were coming to him all the time. So he was in high demand. There was a lot of stress on him. And the last year of his life, he lived in constant threat of being arrested and being executed. And so Jesus actually lived a fairly stressful life. And he had to get away on a regular basis. Mark chapter 1 says that in the morning, while it was still very dark, Jesus got up and went out to a deserted place, and there he prayed. It says this about him enough that I think this was not just a one-time occurrence. This was a regular thing that he did. So I want to encourage you this weekend to find the time to do this. And as you get away, there are a couple of things I want to ask you to do. A couple of questions I want you to reflect on. First, I want you to reflect on this question. In just a few words or phrases, describe how you're doing right now. Describe what's going on inside of your heart right now. Second question, how have you experienced God lately? What is it that God is doing in your life? Another question, what has been life-giving to you? What things have you done over the last few weeks that you have found to be life-giving? And then write down what has been life-draining to you. What are the things that you're doing right now that just seem to be exhausting you? And then finally, you might ask yourself this question: what things are presently occupying my mind and my heart? What are the things right now that I seem to be thinking a lot about? Now, after spending some time with these questions, I want to ask you to pray the prayer of release. This is a prayer in which you give all these things to God, the things that are draining your life, the things that are maybe constantly on your mind and your heart right now. The prayer of release hands them over to God. If you want to know more about the prayer of release, you might go to my blog. There's a link. There should be a link down here somewhere below me, or maybe up above me in the if you're on Facebook. There should be a link to a blog article that I wrote on the prayer of release. Maybe go read that article and just this weekend take some time to do that. So sometime this weekend, take about 30 minutes. Get off by yourself. Get alone. Unplug everything. And take some time to go through these questions and take some time to pray the prayer of release. Listen, if you do this, I promise you, if you take just even 30 minutes to go through this and really do it, I think it'll be so life-giving to you that you'll want to do it every weekend, and actually you'll want to do it every day. I hope it works for you. God bless you. Have a great weekend.